Hello and welcome to Numeristical, bringing you the picks of the day for Sunday, June 30th. It's 7:07 in the morning here in California. Let's get started as always by reviewing the picks from last time. So, we had a reasonable day yesterday overall. One money line bet was the Blue Jays. They won easily, and we picked up 1.24 units there. Red Sox Padres, we had the under. Padres scored a bunch of runs early. They were up 10-0 by the fourth or fifth inning. So lost that bet. So combined money line and totals, we are up 0.24 units. So we're now up combined almost 3 units on the season. And that breaks out as being up 7.78 units on the totals and down 4.81 on the money line. And then we also had the Blue Jays covering the spread, which they obviously did, and picked up another 0.74 units there. So the spreads model is up 4.26 units on the season. Let's move on to the picks for today. Here is the full set of games for the day. And after our filters, the model is telling us to look at 3 home teams, 3 away teams, so a fair number of games to go through. First game it wants us to take a look at is the Blue Jays hosting the Yankees again. Says to bet the Blue Jays if you can get plus 101. Let's take a look. So I got to click over to money lines, and the Blue Jays does not look like we'll get plus 101. Everything has a minus sign in front of it. Looks like bookies can't decide who should be the favorite, but they all agree that it's very, very close. So no bet there. Next up, the White Sox hosting the Rockies. Rare situation where the White Sox are a prohibitive favorite. So they have Garrett Crochet pitching today, and they're playing the Rockies, so I guess that's what it takes. The model likes the White Sox if you can get minus 171. Pinnacle showing minus 198, so this might be a stretch, but let's take a look. So, right, yeah, the White Sox, we're not finding minus 171 anywhere. Again, interesting to see the White Sox be such a prohibitive favorite. Next up, the Angels hosting the Tigers. Model likes the Angels if you can get them at minus 101. Let's look. And not quite getting, we're over here, not quite getting to minus 101. I see minus 105, but that's as good as it gets for the Angels. Again, bookies are very evenly matched on this team. So they seem to agree that the Angels are a slight, tiny slight favorite. In any case, no bet on that game. Let's look at the visiting teams. First one it likes is the Marlins visiting the Phillies. Says to bet the Marlins if you can get 226. And let's take a look. We are very close, but it looks like no cigar. Circa has 225 on the Marlins. And that's the best we get. So we have 225 there. The model does say 226 though. So we will not be placing a bet there. Next up, the Nationals visiting the Tampa Bay Rays. It says to take the Nationals if you can get 154. And it says Pinnacle showing 160. So let's take a look. What can we get on the Nationals? And yes, success. We can get or break in 154 a lot of places. Looks like the best we can get is 168 at Bet Online. But lots of other places have 165. But we'll take this right here, Washington plus 168. So let's go over here, Nationals plus 168. Next up to look at is the Athletics visiting the Diamondbacks. It likes the Athletics if you can get 184. And not quite getting a 184, again as good as 175 here at South Point, but nothing at 184 or better. So no bet there. So it looks like on the money lines right now we just have the Nationals plus 168, That's our sole money line bet. Let's look at totals. Again, full set of games. And if we scroll down, it likes us to take a look at 3 unders. The first under it likes is the Cards Reds with a point of 8. It's saying to bet it, but bet 8 if you can get, 107, plus 107. So it's way better than even money. Let's look at Cards Reds. Click over to totals. And yeah, we're not going to get that. In fact, you could see a couple of places have gone to 7.5 on the under. So we're not going to get the 8 at that price. Next up, Angels Tigers. Point is 9, and the model says to bet at minus 132. So they think the 9 is really a good number. They say it's 64% under at 9, ignoring the push. So let's see what we can get. Again, that was the Angels Tigers. And yeah, on the 9 under, we can get as good as minus 116 at Bet Online. Minus 118 a couple other places, and minus 120 everywhere else. So we will take the Tigers Angels under 9, minus 116. And next up, the Orioles hosting the Rangers. Point is 9. Model wants plus 107 though, so this will probably be a stretch. Let's take a look. Orioles, Rangers. Yeah, you see under 9. You see minus 105. But that's as good as it's getting. So no bet there. So again, just one money line pick now. The Tigers Angels under 9, minus 116. Let's take a look at the spreads. Here's the full set of games. Scroll down a little bit so you can see this last game. And, whoops. It's telling us to look at 2 home teams, 3 away teams. You see a lot of overlap between the games. It's just for the money line, so it makes sense. So first up, again, White Sox. It says for the White Sox to give away 1.5 points if you can get 110, essentially, plus 110. So let's take a look. Spreads, White Sox. So White Sox minus 1.5. It wants plus 110, and we're getting as good as 112 here at Heritage. So we got 110 over here and here too. But we will take White Sox minus 1.5, plus 112. Feels very strange to have the White Sox giving away runs and still be close to even money. 110. Sorry, we had the White Sox plus 112 after giving away the run. Next up, Tigers Angels. Says to take the Angels plus 1.5 if you can get minus 162. So Angels plus 1.5, yeah, and we can get, in fact, as good as plus 184 here at Bookmaker. So we will do that. Angels minus 1.5. Okay, hold on a sec. Angels plus 1.5. So I'm gonna make sure. Sometimes they have them. They have the 1.5 runs on different sides. So maybe I misread this. Angels Oh no, the model's saying Angels plus 1.5 to take 162.5. Give me 1 second. Let me see what the model says. Because some places are giving lines at plus 1.5, some are at minus 1.5. So we got to make sure we read everything correctly. Let me also just calculate real quick what it would do for minus 1.5 on the Angels. Okay, so actually for minus 1.5, it wants plus 200 or better. So we're not going to find that. And then for plus 1.5, there's only one bookie doing it on our list. That's plus 1.5 on the Angels. And that's DraftKings over here. And Heritage. Actually, two. And Heritage is giving minus 163. And the model is saying minus 162. So we will not quite get a bet there. So no bet there. Okay, next up, Marlins visiting the Phillies. Marlins plus 1.5. It says if you get minus 104, better to take it. Marlins are up here. And so Miami plus 1.5, and you can see you can get better than even money. In fact, you can get plus 104 here at Bet Online. So we'll do that. The Marlins plus 1.5, plus 104. So let's mark that down. Marlins plus 1.5, plus 104. Plus 104. Let's fix that. Okay, next up, Nationals again. Plus 1.5 if you can get minus 123. Nationals plus 1.5. We're not going to get minus 123. Best is minus 131. And then finally, the Athletics plus 1.5 wants minus 116. Athletics plus 1.5. We're not going to get to minus 116. It's about minus 125 across the board. It's a couple pennies better in two places. So no bet there. So still, we got a pretty good set of bets. We got one money line, the Nationals plus 168. One totals, the Tigers Angels under 9 at minus 116. And two spreads bets, the White Sox minus 1.5 at plus 112, and the Marlins plus 1.5 at 104. All right, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.